Clip on NBC News with an embedded video. Senator Bernie Sanders endorses Biden in 2024 presidential election. Title: Bernie Sanders says Biden will be the Democratic nominee, and it's time to stop bickering and nitpicking. The senator has routinely backed Biden since his poor performance in the debate against Donald Trump, wrote that he will do all that he can to re-elect Biden. What might that be, Bernie, that you can do all that you can to re-elect Biden? You know, Bernie's no spring chicken either. He's 82 years old. Maybe he needs to have a cognitive test as well. I mean, it's completely crazy. Like I said, we got a senator that's 90. I mean, it's nuts. Let's listen to this 2-minute and 55-second clip.
So a short time ago, Senator Bernie Sanders throwing his full support behind President Biden, despite their disagreements. How significant is this for the campaign?
Yeah, Alex, well, at this point, the Biden team will take any help they can get in easing the nerves of these Democratic lawmakers, and they are fully embracing this endorsement from notably a former political opponent of President Biden's, but also a decades-long friend of the president in the Senate. And Senator Bernie Sanders offers some more about the reasoning behind his decision in this New York Times op-ed. He says, quote, "This election offers a stark choice on issue after issue. If Mr. Biden and his supporters focus on these issues and refuse to be divided and distracted, the president will rally working families to his side in the industrial Midwest swing states and elsewhere and win the November election. And let me say this as emphatically as I can. For the sake of our kids and future generations, he must win." And that, Alex, is the message the president is trying to get out to as many Democratic lawmakers, especially as he can right now, as he really tries to shore up support and reverse the damage done from that June 27th debate performance. We know in the past few days he's been working the phones. We know that is happening also today as he tries to talk to different groups, different caucuses in Congress, and reassure them that he is able to stay in this race and serve another 4 years in office. And of course, all of this is coming as we see this shift from the president in tone about how he is talking about his embattled candidacy. He was at a rally in Battleground, Michigan yesterday where we heard him address the press coverage of that poor debate performance, as well as some of the flubs he has made in recent days. He addressed those head on. Listen to some of that, some of his speech from that rally last night.
They've been hammering me because I sometimes confuse names. I say that's Charlie instead of Bill. But guess what?
I sometimes confuse names, stating that Donald Trump, you chose him as your vice president because she can do the job. That's confusing names. And then calling the president of Ukraine Vladimir Putin instead of Zelensky. Guy's a complete idiot, as is Bernie Sanders, the independent. He's as much as an independent as I'm African American. Let's go back.
Has gotten a free pass. But people would rather talk about how I mix up names. I guess they don't remember that Trump called Nikki Haley Nancy Pelosi.
As you heard, the president seizing on the opportunity to slam his predecessor. He also at one point in that rally listed the reasons he says that Trump is unfit to serve another term in the presidency. And notably, Alex, he also not only doubled down on his vow to stay in this race, he also offered a preview of what he would do in his first 100 days in office if he does win another term. But of course, all of this coming as so many Democrats are privately weighing whether to publicly call on him to step aside, and they're going to be watching his every move, his every word very closely over the coming days, Alex.
They sure will, but right now he sure looks like he's in fighting form. Thank you very much, Allie, for that.
Like I said, Bernie Sanders needs to be tested for his competency. In an opinion piece published in the New York Times on Saturday, Senator Bernie Sanders defended President brain-dead hairplug Joe Biden's decision to remain a presumptive Democratic nominee for president, writing that I will do all that I can to see that President Biden is reelected. What does that mean, Bernie? What's all you can do, huh? And called on party members to stop bickering and nitpicking over his candidacy. The Vermont Independent, who was one of several candidates in the 2020 Democratic primary that Biden ultimately won, added that he believes Biden is the most effective president in modern history of our country and is the strongest candidate to defeat Donald Trump. Hey, Bernie, what about allowing 11 million illegals into this country? His piece comes 2 weeks after Biden's dismal debate performance against former President Donald Trump. Still, Sanders, 82, blasted the corporate media for being obsessively focused on the June presidential debates and the cognitive capabilities of a man who has perhaps the most difficult and stressful job in the world. He also blasted Democrats who have questioned Biden's mental fitness and whether he's strong enough to beat Trump again, accusing them of joining a circular firing squad. So far, 18 Democratic lawmakers have called on Biden to step aside as the party's presidential nominee. Sanders' written remarks acknowledged that Biden, 81, may not be the ideal candidate, but added that he will be the candidate and should be the candidate. Bernie's a nut job. Bernie Sanders. Someone needs to look into all the homes he owns and how the hell he got all those homes. It's time for Democrats to stop the bickering and nitpicking, the senator wrote. If I'm not mistaken, Bernie Sanders' wife had some legal issues that were pushed under the carpet as well. Something to do with banking, if I recall correctly. Sanders has routinely defended Biden since the debate, arguing that the election is not about age but policy. What we are talking about now is not a Grammy Award contest for the best singer, Sanders told CBS News, Face the Nation last week, adding, what we've got to focus on is policy, whose policies have and will benefit the vast majority of people in this country. Someone's got to ask Bernie Sanders how allowing 11 million illegals in this country are helping the vast majority of people in this country. The guy's a complete effing moron. And like I said, we have a real problem with our Senate and our Congress when we've got idiots like this that are aging and can no longer function properly, representing the people in their constituencies. It's completely insane. I'll attach the link. Have a look at it. Let me know what you think. You sure as hell know what I think, don't you?